all can be traded. My heart's a bit spaded. I'm not too prideful to up and leave. You've been all complacent. The tides have been changing. Love is just patience, and for you.
What's up, bookish babes? Welcome back to another monthly reading wrap up. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys all the books that I read in the month of June. I read a total of 6 books, 4 of them being on my Kindle, then 2 that I have the physical copy of right now present. But the 4 that I read on my Kindle, I bit the bullet and ordered them off of Amazon. I bit the bullet. I just needed them on my shelf, which I'm going to end up needing another shelf. So, yeah, that's something to discuss. Me already needing another shelf. But I feel like my shelf space run out so fast because how I have my books stacked. Now, if I had them stacked to the traditional up and down, like this right here, without no stacks in between, if I just like flip these, I would have space because, what can I? It's like one right here that only, I hate the next. It's one right here that only have 2 books. So if I kind of just flip it up, I have more space. But we're not doing that because the aesthetics. We're going for aesthetic. But yeah, I only have 2 of them right now. The rest of them are coming through Amazon probably in the next 2 days. But I think I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys about the ones that I read on my Kindle. And then we'll go to the 2 physical copies to hold up. Or should we do, I think I'm doing that backwards. Let's do the 2 physical copies. And then let's do the Kindle versions because, yeah. Now, the very first book that I read in June happens to be Binding 13. I finally dove into this series. I have a video of me reading this book right here. And the way this book, I feel like it's the characters. Like, it's so character driven and so addictive that I finished this one and immediately dove into the next one, but I didn't finish it. I told myself to stop because I want to, you know, read that for another video. So that's why I stopped reading Keeping 13. Now, this one is about Shannon and Johnny. Johnny is he's like a top rugby player in his school, and Shannon is a new girl who is underweight, was bullied, and a lot of stuff's going on in her life. Stuff the trigger warning because it does get pretty deep and graphic, if I must say so myself, because her mother, what type of, she make me itch. Like, you piss me off when I start itching before I say something to you. Her mother is no good. Her father is no good. I loved her brothers. Shannon was a little bit, a smidget bit of aggravating. I can't even say it. She was aggravating to me, just a smidget, like just a tiny bit. Like, I understand that I can't even say that. I can't even speak on that because, like I said, she was going through trauma at home, at school. She was going through a lot. Like, she'd been through a lot for her to be only, I think she was like 16 at the time, 16 at the time. For her only been a teenager, she went through a lot of stuff and she had to deal with a lot of stuff, and she kind of took the brunt of her father's anger. So I understand why she was a little timid, but yeah, I love Gipsy. I don't know if I want to call him Gibby or Gipsy. I don't know. I keep forgetting. I think it's Gipsy. Or Gibby. Is it Gibby or Gipsy? Correct me in the comments. But I love him. I love him and Claire. I just cannot wait. I think, and then to come find out, I thought the Saving 6 and Redeeming 6 was about Gipsy and Claire, but apparently it's about Shannon's brother. So, yeah. Can't wait to dive into the rest of the series. It's pretty addictive. So, I'm not even going to lie to you. It's pretty addictive. I gave that book a 4.75. Then I read Children of Blood and Bone. Y'all, this book is so good. I did not expect this book to be as good as it was. I can't even explain it to y'all properly. I just can't even explain it to you. I guess it's like a 4.5. It's about this girl who, I guess what do they call them? They have this magical power, and then one day the king came and slaughtered all the head. You gotta read it to understand. I can't even I can't verbally explain what this book is about, but it's so good. If you haven't read it, read it. It's so good. 10 out of 10. Gave it 4.5 though. Now, after reading that, we're going to go on into the Kindle's version books that I read. The pictures will be right here. The first one was The Expiration Date by Kimberly Brown. Now, this is about this girl named Audrey. Now, Audrey, she a bit self-sabotaged. She self-sabotages. I can't talk, y'all. She self-sabotages herself all the time. Now, she went through this really bad breakup with this guy, found out he was cheating on her. So, any dude she dated after that, she kind of only dated him for like a month or 2 months. And then she'll take him to a coffee place and break up with him. And her friend call it like the expiration date. Like, you're going on the expiration date. Now, one day she goes into this coffee shop to break up with one of these guys. And it didn't go quite as planned. He ends up calling her out her name. She ends up throwing hot chocolate on him. The owner end up kicking him out. The owner end up being a fine chocolate dreadhead of a brother. And you know the rest. I gave that book a 4-star. It was pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. If you haven't read The Expiration Date by Kimberly Brown, I want to get into more of her books because I've heard a lot of good things about her writing. But that happens to be the first one that I got into now. I think it's a series. I think it's like, let me see. Is it a series? It has to be a series. Because I think the next one is about her best friend. I think. I believe it's a series because when I finished the book, it asked me to read another. It probably like interconnected standalone. But that's a series, right? I don't know. It's on my Kindle. My Kindle across the room. I could go on my Kindle app on my iPad, but we ain't doing all that. After I read that, I read Hostile Takeover by Christina C.J. This is about this girl and her father. Well, this guy, her father, Nailani. Her name is Nailani, which happens to be my youngest daughter middle name. Her family owns this organic grocery store, and her dad ends up selling their store to their competition. But he didn't know. Her dad was trash. But that's not neither here nor there. He ends up selling it to this their competition without knowing, and in order for them to get the store back, the guy was like, you gotta marry me, because in order, like, he needed her to marry him for something, and she wanted her store back, so she married the man. He's a billionaire. They ends up, I think, the one in what was it, Expiration Day, she ends up getting pregnant by the guy. Ooh. But it Billionaire Baby. That's the name of the series. So it is what it is. So yeah, I'm sorry if I spoiled that for you guys. But the series is called Billionaire Baby. But this one, she ends up having to marry him for something. I don't even remember what he needed her to do. Oh, I do know why he wanted her to marry him, but I'm not gonna tell it because I feel like that's a spoiler. So they ends up marriage convenience, all that. I gave that book a 4 stars as well. I really enjoyed that one. It was super good. Super good. Now, I was scrolling through y'all, the crazy story is how I found this next book that I read. It was very messy, and if you guys know the girl on YouTube named Keisha Kaylee, she was on TikTok telling how she got bullied by this other girl, host Bill. And people branched off in other videos, and I just was scrolling down one day and I came across a video and I clicked on it and I was like, what's going on in this one? And I was listening to it, but I went to the comment section and the girl in the comment was like, is this about a book? Like, she really thought that a story was about a book, because she gave her boyfriend a hall pass. He ends up getting, now this is real life. Now this is not the story. Now this is not the title of the book. Listen, this real life, messy. She ends up giving her boyfriend a hall pass while she was pregnant with her twins, and it does sound just like the story though. She ends up giving her boyfriend a hall pass while she was pregnant with their twins. He ends up going out and getting another girl pregnant. So the video was about that. So when I was in the comment section of the video, the girl was like, is this a book about a book called Soul Ties by Miss Candice? And I was like, look at me scrolling for mess and got a book recommendation out of it. So I end up reading a book called Soul Ties by Miss Candice. It's about this girl who is about this lady who is married. No, because it's not about that. It's about a lot of stuff. This guy, he's a drug dealer. His family is part of the drug lord. He ends up getting high pass from his wife because she's pregnant. She's on bed rest because she's lost multiple kids, and she's on bed rest. So he goes out to this club called Pandora where he meets, what is this girl name? What is her name? Sienna. Her name is Sienna. He meets Sienna at this club and they instantly click, and they end up doing grown people business and end up going back home. She ends up being the wife doula. Messy, y'all. Messy. But the book was so good. I gave the book a 4.5 stars. So good. If you haven't read Soul Ties, please read that book. Like that Chef Kiss. I see why she thought that Keisha Kaylee story was an actually story, because when I tell you that's what the book about. She gave her husband a hall pass. He goes out, have sex with this other girl. They connect on a soul type level. Like, it's deep. Soul Ties by Miss Candice. Read that because it's so good. It's really good, y'all. It's really good. And then I read Flow. I finally started the Grip trilogy by Kennedy Ryan. I read Flow. I gave the book a 3.75. It's about Grip and what is her name? Bristol. Why would you name your child Bristol? No judgment to the people who's actually named Bristol, but why would you name your child Bristol? Like, yeah. It's about Grip and Bristol. Bristol is the best friend of Bristol. Grip is the best friend of Bristol brother. Bristol brother is a music creator, artist, and he ends up getting emancipated from his family. He hasn't seen her in like 8 years. And she comes out to California to kind of meet up with him, chill, get to know each other, build that brotherly, sisterly bond. And he's busy. And that's how she ends up linking and chilling with Grip for the rest of the day until her brother got off of work. Her and Grip kind of clicked and bonded, and their story, I guess, is like the beginning of what it's setting up for the second book in the trilogy called Grip, where it picks right up where this one left off. So it basically gives you like a prequel to how they met, what happened between them, what led up to the situation they're in now. So, yeah. Though, did I told you I gave the book a 3.75? Yeah, I gave that 3.75. And those are all the 6 books that I read in the month of June. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell button so you can get the notification for all my videos. I'm trying to be extremely consistent, which I have been doing a great job at. And, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, like I said, and I'll see y'all next time. Happy reading.
I'm calling bullshit. Say you got it, but you ain't got nothing. Bad bitches don't say